Hello, it is Monday, September the 24th, the year 2012, and as usual, a lot to get to in the sports world, including a wacky day in the NFL yesterday, so let's get it going right now. First stop, Chicago, Bears 23, Rams 6, ho-hum. Bears defense dominated the game, holds the Rams to 160 yards total offense. The Rams can't move the ball from here to there. They try hard. Jeff Fisher is a good coach. He has them playing hard. They just don't have enough weapons offensively. Amendola is a good receiver. Bradford is a good quarterback. They don't have any explosive receivers to stretch the field. Jackson is always hurt at running back. The Rams will fight you on defense, but they just cannot score enough points. The Bears look sloppy at times, but they do get the job done here. They are 2-1. The Rams go to 1-2. Ho-hum type of game. Moving on to Cleveland, Bills 24, Browns 14. Browns had 240 yards of total offense. Whedon 2 interceptions. It's going to be a long year for the Browns no matter how you slice it. I mean, just like the Rams, the Browns have no explosive players. They're trying to break in this rookie quarterback, Whedon. Who knows about him? Bills take care of business. They looked better. They've looked better the last 2 weeks after the debacle in New York against the Jets in Week 1. Spiller did get hurt for the Bills. Let's keep an eye on that. We don't know how long he's going to be out. The coach was optimistic. Remember, their other running back, Jackson, is already hurt. He may be back to practice this week. Fitzpatrick looked better. 3 touchdowns, no picks. I'm still not a big believer in Fitzpatrick taking you to the promised land, but he has looked better. I don't want to rain on his parade after 2 good performances. The Bills are 2-1. The Browns are 0-3 and going nowhere fast. Moving on. Dallas 16, Tampa 10. This is another ho-hum type of game. I mean, Tampa will fight you. Shiano has them playing hard, but they only had 166 yards of total offense. Dallas actually made this game closer than it should have been. Dallas should have won this game a lot easier. Dallas, again, you just don't know how good they can be. They have some talent. I like what they did in their secondary, but they're still a little shaky. I mean, this game should not be 16-10 in Dallas, but Dallas does get the job done. They go to 2-1. Tampa 1-2. They're competitive, but they're not going to be great. Moving on to Indianapolis, Jacksonville 22. Indianapolis 17. Luck throws for 313 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did have an interception. Vinatieri hits a field goal with 56 seconds left to give the Colts a 17-16 lead. You think the Colts are in good shape. Not so fast. Here comes Jacksonville. Gabbert to Cecil Shorts, 80 yards with 45 seconds left, and Jacksonville steals the game 22-17. Both teams 1-2. Let's face it, neither one of these teams is a playoff team. It was a good game for 2 lesser teams. Luck looks good. Jacksonville still has a lot of work to do. They do get the win. Moving on. Kansas City and the Saints. Kansas City goes to 1-2. The Saints go to 0-3. Kansas City 27, Saints 24 in overtime. Just an absolutely atrocious loss by the Saints. I didn't think it could get any worse. It did. The Saints had a 24-6 lead in the second half of this game. They let the Chiefs come all the way back and win the game. I mean, just a total debacle. Charles had the big run to get the Chiefs going. It was 24-6. He has the big run down the sidelines to make it 24-13. From that point on, the Chiefs took command of the game. The Saints looked awful. They have an awful defense. The Chiefs saved their season here because if the Chiefs went to 0-3, their season was over. They were going nowhere fast. Now they have a chance at 1-2. The Saints, it's going to be one of those years for the Saints. They missed the coach. They have this whole bounty thing still hanging over their head. Drew Brees has not looked great. The defense is in shambles, even with Spagnuolo as the coordinator. It's just going to be one of these years for the Saints you're going to write off. They're going to bounce back next year. They're going to have an easier schedule. They're going to regroup on defense. They're going to have their coach back, the bounty thing out of the way. This could be a forgotten year for the Saints. Look for the Saints next year. Great job by the Chiefs coming back, and an awful job by New Orleans losing at home in the Superdome to a dead Kansas City team. Moving on. Bengals 38, Washington 31 in D.C. Bengals go to 2-1, Washington 1-2. Cincinnati had almost 500 yards of offense. I mean, that's been a big theme, too, in the NFL for the first 3 weeks. all these huge offensive performances with the weather being nice and with defenses at a disadvantage, because let's face it, the league is now an offensive league. They don't let the defense do as much as they used to. All these big numbers put up. Cincinnati almost 500 yards of offense. Great play calling by Cincinnati. Their offense looks tremendous. Having said that, their defense does not look good at all. Dalton did throw for 328, 3 touchdowns. Griffin, 221, 1 touchdown. Not great, but I mean, come on. It's only his 3rd game. It's going to take some time. I mean, the Redskin offensive line is not great. The defense is in shambles. They need some more weapons to give Griffin. So, I mean, there's only so much you can expect from Washington. They did have a nice comeback. Cincinnati was up 24-7 in this game, and Washington came all the way back and made it close. Cincinnati does get the win, and Green, the really good receiver for Cincinnati, 183 yards and a touchdown. He is a really good player. Cincinnati 2-1, Washington 1-2. Cincinnati tied for the division lead with Baltimore at this point. Moving on, Vikings in the stunner. 24-13 over San Francisco in the stunner of the day. Vikings go to 2-1. San Francisco drops to 2-1. San Francisco was taking bows for 2 weeks. They were the cream of the league. Everyone thought they were the best team, including me in the league. And what do? They have a huge letdown in the Metrodome. They go to Minnesota, and Minnesota outplayed them from start to finish. Minnesota pushed them around and definitely deserved to win the game. I mean, in total offense, Minnesota outgained them 344-280. San Francisco 3 turnovers, including an Alex Smith interception. He never throws interceptions. Ponder played well. Harvin played well. Peterson, even though he didn't have big stats, it's just amazing this guy is still out there after this catastrophic knee injury. So great job by Minnesota winning this game. Terrible job by San Francisco. Big letdown. Look for San Francisco to bounce back this week in New York against the Jets. How would you like to be the Jets this week with San Francisco coming in after this debacle? So San Francisco 2-1, Vikings 2-1. Moving on. In another wild affair, Tennessee 44, Detroit 41 in overtime. Both teams go to 1-2. Tennessee almost 600 yards of offense. They have 2 kick returns, 1 on a trick play. The Lions actually are leading 27-20. They kick off and Tennessee runs the kickback 105 yards. Terrible job by the Lions special teams. That was with less than 7 minutes in the game. They gave up that second kick return. Nate Washington then has the miraculous 71-yard reception that gives Tennessee the 34-27 lead. They actually get a fumble return to go up 41-27. Stafford gets hurt for the Lions. They bring in the backup Hill. He throws what looks like a garbage touchdown with time running out. Then they get the onside kick. Then Hill throws a Hail Mary. They get that. They tie the game at 41. We go to overtime. Tennessee goes down the field, kicks a field goal. Detroit comes back and is in field goal range. They have a 4th and 1. According to the coach, they wanted to just try and draw Tennessee offside. The center didn't get the information. He snaps the ball to Hill. Hill gets stopped at the line. No gain. Tennessee wins 44-41. Tennessee saves their season. They go to 1-2. Detroit, I'll tell you, shaky 1-2. I don't like their defense. I didn't like their special teams yesterday. Their offense is good, but they need more than that. I mean, their defense is so shaky, and Stafford is always getting hurt in these games. Not liking what I'm seeing from Detroit at all. Moving on, another wacky game. Jets 23, Dolphins 20 in overtime down in Miami. Jets down early. They tie it. Miami misses a 48-yard field goal in overtime that can win the game. The Jets come down. The first kick in overtime they try is blocked, but Miami had already called a timeout. The Jets get to re-kick it. They win the game 23-20. The Jets kind of stole this game. They go to 2-1. Dolphins drop to 1-2. The big story here in this game, Revis hurt for the Jets, possible ACL tear, possibly done for the year, which would be a huge loss for the Jets. He's one of the best defensive players in all of football. Bush hurt, didn't play the whole second half. We'll keep an eye on him, but the Jets steal one down in Miami. Moving on, Arizona 27, Philadelphia 6. Arizona, the surprise team of the league, they're 3-0. Philadelphia drops to 2-1. I mean, Vic only 217 yards. He's getting hit all over the place. Arizona has the huge fumble recovery at the end of the half that ended this game. Cobb's been playing well for Skelton. The Arizona defense is unbelievable. Philly, again, 3 turnovers. Philly, very shaky. They are 2-1. Arizona, really nice job, 3-0. Surprise team of the league. I love their defense. Moving on, Falcons in San Diego beat the Chargers 27-3. Falcons from start to finish. Falcons are 3-0, one of the 3-0 teams. They look like a really good team. They go on the road where they usually have problems and just obliterate San Diego 27-3. All Chargers in this game. Not much to talk about. San Diego 4 turnovers. Ryan good. Turner good. Gonzalez good. I like what I see out of Atlanta. San Diego, who knows again with them that they are 2-1, but this was a terrible performance by them. Moving on to Denver. Texans 31, Denver 25, Houston 3-0, Denver 1-2. Manning, since the first good game, a little shaky, but it's going to take him some time to get into the groove. Plus, they've been playing some good teams. Houston looks like a dominant team. They almost blew it at the end here. They had a big lead, almost blew it. Schaub looked good. Like I said, Manning shaky. Texans led 31-11. They hung on. So good job by Houston, Denver. I think they're going to be a good team. Need a little time. As, of course, the Giants won on Thursday night 36-7. Carolina not ready for prime time at all. Another game from yesterday, Oakland 34, Pittsburgh 31. An absolutely awful job by the Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday. You have to beat Oakland. The Steelers go to 1-2. Oakland also goes to 1-2. The Steelers led 7-0. 14-7, 17-14, 24-14, 31-21, and they end up losing 34-31. They had 2 big fumbles in the game. The defense was, again, atrocious in the fourth quarter, just like they were, in Denver a couple weeks ago. No Polamalu, no Harrison makes a big difference. Dick LeBeau under fire, the defensive coordinator for Pittsburgh, under fire. I'll give him a break now with Harrison and Polamalu out. Not like what I'm seeing from the Pittsburgh defense at all. They should have won that game. That's a game when you look at the end of the year, you say that's a game we should have had. Last night's game, another wild, wacky game. Baltimore 31, New England 30. New England led the whole game. Baltimore scores 10 points in the last 5 minutes. New England, another team that cannot get a stop at the end of the game. Baltimore kicks a field goal at the end of the game that just barely wins it. Penalties all over the place. I mean, just a complete mess. Suggs won't be available for the Ravens for, till the end of the year. They really miss him. New England, who I thought would be better on defense, wasn't. A great job by Smith, the receiver for Baltimore, who lost his brother in a motorcycle accident the night before. He not only plays, he plays well. Baltimore with a huge win, 31-30. They're 2-1. Believe it or not, New England is 1-2. Tonight we have Green Bay at Seattle. Seattle's got one of the best home crowds in football. I don't know if they can handle Green Bay, though. It would show me a lot if the Seahawks could win this game. We shall see. Tomorrow we're going to discuss the Monday night game. I'm going to touch on the college football. We're going to go over all the baseball. You can catch me Monday to Thursday here on the YouTube, and I discuss all of the previous night's games, plus I preview what's coming up that night. Wednesday we'll do college picks. Thursday we'll do the NFL. You guys enjoy the Monday night game and all the baseball tonight, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Take care.